Thank you for coming and taking time out of your busy schedules in Denver for saying hi to us. And we're going to do a panel about VTubers. Can we get a shout if you know what a VTuber is? Oh God, it sounds like there's a lot of them out there, Claude. I'm a little nervous. It's okay, he'll just suck on a hot dog. Well, we're going to learn a little bit more about VTubers, more specifically why people do it, specifically how people do it. We may or may not peel the curtain back a little bit and say hi to the man behind the curtain. I guess that makes sense. But right now we're going to have Kit come out and get a few questions from the audience so that you guys may learn a little bit more about me, a little bit more about my friends that are going to be joining us here soon, and more about VTubing in general. So it's going to be a great time. Get warmed up. Oh, by the way, I'm a rock star. I have a band named Midnight Howl, as you can see on my shirt. We have an album out right now, 6 songs on Spotify. If you want to look us up, you can look us up under Alpha Anarchy, which is the name of the stream that we stream on Twitch. But yeah, we're gonna have a kid. Take it away. Go for it.
Oh God, my mic's in there.
Gotcha.
Alpha, he's such a troublemaker.
I try.
So 2D, so sexy. What a problem.
Hey, I can take my shirt off, but it's not that kind of panel.
No, sadly not the 18+ version. Keep it on, my friend. All right. So, I have some questions lined up.
Sure.
Your publicist, I think, emailed me.
Yeah, they are probably hungover still. But
Is it your publicist? Is it the snail? Is your publicist?
I mean, he dabbles a little bit.
Oh, dabbles. All right.
Yeah.
So, tell us about your world, because we're here in the 3D smelly world where we have to shower.
Yeah. I have a shower too. I just don't use it as often as I should.
Oh. Do you shower with your clothes on though?
That costs money on my Patreon. There's a tier where
18+ panel, this is not.
Yeah.
All right, so what does a day in the life of Alpha look like?
Well, let's see. I get up, usually a little late, and then I decide when I want to go to work. I work at a takoyaki restaurant down the street, just across the river. I live in just outside of Shinjuku, and my boss is an extraterrestrial giant slime monster. He's pretty cool. His name is Kai Ken. He's fantastic. He's a great guy. He needs the help, which is why I do it. It's not like I like the job or anything, baka. But yeah, and then I come home, maybe do a little writing, do a little music writing, and then we go and hang out at we have a practice space in an old warehouse where they store old like Chuck E. Cheese and weird animatronics and like state fair stuff. And we rehearse in that warehouse. We have a great time doing it. We write songs. We drink and party and have fun, and then I go back, I go to sleep, and then we do the same darn thing after we hit the bar.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it is. It's hard being as cool as I am, but it's
working as
it's a job. It's a job in and of itself.
So, question for you, because
Answer
you said you said you're in a band and you do music. I did want to mention though, the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. Do you have like a video screen that plays video from old Chuck E. Cheese?
I mean, I'm sure we can make something work. Put some wires together and.
Okay, because if you do, there's someone who was very famous. Like for you, like for us, it's now, but for you, very long in the past.
Yeah.
A very famous voice actor is actually at Chuck E. Cheese. He's like Mr. Chuck E. Cheese.
Whoa.
And his name is Rico Fajardo.
Rico Fajardo.
Yeah, and he teaches you how to do the munch.
Oh, is that I know how to do the munch. That's the one with the hands out in front of you, right?
Yeah.
It's a really popular dance move now.
Oh, is it?
I didn't know Rico was the one that did it. I'll have to,
Yeah. Send him an email from the past.
Or something. Is he still alive? It's 21-24.
I don't think so. All right, so you're in a band.
Sure, yeah.
Do you have music out right now?
I do, as a matter of fact. We have 6 songs out right now. We venture into like genres like EDM and nu metal. So I'm the lead singer. I do a lot of screaming. I do a lot of impassioned singing as well.
Impassioned singing.
We work with a lot of other VTubers too on our music. We have some guest appearances and from other voice actors as well come in and sing for us. We had Elsie Lovelock on a song not too long ago, if you know who that is. Fantastic group of people that we work with. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube Music, we're on iTunes, wherever you stream your music. That's where you can find Midnight Howl. We pivoted over to the name Alpha Anarchy, so it's a little bit, our brand identity is a little bit easier to find. So if you look up Alpha Anarchy on Spotify or anything, you will find all of our music. It's ALPHAANIKI. And we got a new song coming out next week. We just had a song come out 2 weeks ago, Twilight Zone. And we got a song coming out next week to coincide with the Guilty Gear World Tournament. So get excited for that. The song will be released at the Guilty Gear World Tournament. So you'll just follow me on social media and you'll get to see it.
It sounds like you are a very busy 2D person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can barely get like my laundry done, and I'm not doing nearly as
look at
much
my
as you.
room. I can't either.
So that is my question though, is because you're working at the takoyaki place, and that's like a full-time gig. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you handle your scheduling? Because who here uses like a paper planner? Yeah.
Wow.
Who else
Arcade.
badly? It's like 8 of them. Are you like on Google Calendar? Does that still exist for you?
I have a little AI assistant. Her name is Cindy, and she is a little overbearing sometimes. She likes to pretend to be my mother sometimes, and it's a little annoying. She coddles me, but she gets me to where I need to go. She makes it so that I am rarely late unless it is overtly my fault. Yeah, that's how I manage to get everywhere on time and do what I need to do, because honestly, without any sort of assistance, I'm kind of dead in the water. But it's a lot of scheduling, it's a lot of honestly being late, it's a lot of not knowing where I'm supposed to be going, but doing it with gusto and 100% of my energy. And a himbo is a word that I like to use often to describe myself. So yeah, I make it work. We managed to make it work, don't we, Claude? Yeah.
So what kind of snail is he? Because I have never seen a snail eat hot dogs before.
Well, he's not a snail. He is a snailian.
Snailian.
He is we don't know what he is. I took him to the vet, and the vet's like, you need to stop feeding him hot dogs. And I'm like, he just eats them. I don't feed it to him.
How does he get the hot dogs though? Like, where does he find? Never mind, I don't want to know.
We best not discuss
I would
it.
check your bank account, honestly. I would just be
He's smarter
concerned.
than you think he is. I feel like he's empathetic in a lot of ways. He talks to me sometimes, but not like verbally, like in English. He'll like talk to me in my head sometimes. And if you listen really close, if you lean in really close, you can hear him vocalize, and he sounds like an Animal Crossing villager. It's weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so question for you. He's with you all the time.
Sure.
Does he ever play video games with you?
He tries. He slimes up the controller, and when you have a little brother, and you're like, hey, come play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater with me, and yeah, you just kind of like don't plug the controller in, and just let him go for it. Just let the AI do it. Let the PC, the CPU do it. But sometimes I let him do it, and then I kick his butt, and then he knows who pays rent.
So what kind of games do you stream, if our audience tuned into you?
A little bit of everything. I've been a streamer for about a decade, and I recently pivoted to showing my face like this, and none of my stream has really changed. I've been doing the same thing for 10 years. I play, I pivoted to games. I've played some games professionally. I played League of Legends semi-professionally way back when. And I've since stopped doing that because I love myself now. But now I play Overwatch, so I'm not sure exactly how much I love myself anymore. But recently, Helldivers 2 has been a light addiction of mine for democracy. We play a lot of Overwatch. I've been playing Pacific Drive. Anything that's Lethal Company, Flavor of the Month games too are super fun. We play with a lot of VTuber friends of ours as well. We have a great time, and we collaborate in other ways with our VTuber friends too, because they know that I'm voice actor Jonas Scott. So sometimes they like to have fun with some voice acting recommendations or requests, and we oblige. We don't charge anything for that. We just have a good time. It's fun.
Sounds like you and the man behind the curtain are pretty good guys.
I have a dartboard with his face on it.
So, speaking of those VTuber friends, I know that you got some artwork today
Yeah.
of a couple of those people. So do you want to introduce them?
I do, as a matter of fact. Come on out. Maybe not yet? Okay, hold on. We're not gonna show, it's a secret, okay?
Oh.
It's a secret, all right? We'll show you in just a second, okay?
Okay, so instead, we're gonna do a rapid fire round of questions. But first, I want to ask the audience, do you have any questions for Alpha Anarchy?
Anything. I will
Anything at
answer
all.
whatever you want within reason.
Yeah, it is an 18 and under panel.
For now.
Oh. Wow, okay.
Over here.
Over here?
Yeah, over there.
Question about the snailian.
Oh yeah, lay it on.
Even if he sends an email, does it still count as snail mail?
Oh, that was good.
What was it?
Even if he sends an email, does it still count as snail mail?
Oh, for sure. You should see him getting food late at night. It's a journey. It's a saga. It's fun. I get up in the middle of the night, I look and wipe my eyes, and I'm like, oh my god, he's almost to the fridge. I'm gonna go to sleep and wake up in a couple hours and see if he manages to get a hot dog. Oh my god, he got the hot dog! You go, buddy! I'm gonna go back to sleep.
I feel like with all of your takoyaki money, you should buy him a mobility scooter. I feel like that would be, like, kind.
He'd be too powerful. I fear for my life if I gave him that kind of speed.
In the gray wig.
Yeah.
What got you into VTubing?
What got you into VTubing? I think, you know what, we'll cover that in, like, the behind the curtains
Yeah.
section. But excellent question.
Good question.
In the black hat.
What did it take to get into the industry of VTubing?
We will absolutely cover that as well. Excellent question. I appreciate it. Any other Alpha Anarchy specific questions? And then we'll do rapid fire round. Yes.
How did you find the snailian?
Yeah. How did you find the stallion? Like,
That
I
is
want
a
one.
very good question.
Did he find you?
A little bit.
Did
I
he
think it was
save you?
the- I
Is he
think it
like
was-
a rescue dog? Like having him saved you?
It was like sweet serendipity, honestly. I was coming back home, it was raining, I was coming back from work a few years ago, and I heard some cats meowing, and I'm like, oh, cool, kitties. And I looked in the alleyway, and those cats were batting this little boy around like a hockey puck. And I had to step in. He looked like he feared for his life, and he was quite in danger. So I saved him from his feline foes, and I brought him back to my room, and I had no clue what to do with him. Because I thought he was a snail. And we took him to the vet, and I'm like, hey, my snail keeps eating hot dogs. Can you fix that? And the vet's like, yeah, that's not a snail. So we learned a lot about Claude that day, and if you read the graphic novel that my VTuber is the main character of, you will learn a lot about Claude. And we're gonna have some short stories coming, and some more like shorter comic panels as well. On our Patreon. In a serious note, on our Patreon, you will have access to like the sketches and the line art and everything as the graphic novel is getting made. So you'll be able to learn as much as you can about the world that I live in, because it's very expansive. There's members of my band that you guys haven't met yet. There's people I work with and friends of the show and things like that make cameos. So if you want to learn a lot about Claude and a lot about me and a lot about where the heck I am, subscribe to Patreon. Have a great time.
Very helpful. So rapid fire round. Very important questions. Favorite food?
My favorite food? Well, I wouldn't work at a takoyaki place if I hated it. I love takoyaki. Them octopus balls go down smooth with that. Okay. I should reword that. You gotta think before yeah, you're right, Claude.
All right, favorite movie?
Favorite movie?
Yeah.
Oh man. You guys haven't seen it yet because it hasn't come out, but
Wow.
Die Hard 14? So good, so good.
But is
Bruce
it a Christmas
Willis
movie,
does
though?
a great job.
Is it a Christmas movie though?
Is it a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
You're darn right it is.
Ah, good stuff.
It
Good
takes
stuff.
place on Christmas. It's a Christmas movie.
All right, favorite video game, but this time catch. It has to be one we can actually play.
Favorite video game you can actually play. Okay, so there was a game that came out in 2002 called Gladius for the Xbox and PlayStation 2. It was the first game I skipped school to play. I rented it from a video game rental store and brought it home, and I kept renting it And eventually my parents are just like, we're just gonna buy this for you. And I'm like, no way, I don't have to pay $8 a week? So yeah, but play Gladius. It's very hard. It's a Lucasfilms game, so it's got some really good like performances in it as well, which is something that I was really a fan of. And it was Western. A lot of my friends really enjoyed JRPGs, and I was huge into Western RPGs as a kid. So I played a lot of, the only JRPG I think I really played as a kid to like completion and like really enjoyed it was Dark Chronicle or Dark Cloud. Dark Cloud 2 was a huge game as a kid, and Final Fantasy. I played Final Fantasy 7 constantly. A huge boon to my gamer life. But yeah, lots of games. I play love. I'm a gamer. Guys, can we get some cheers if you're a gamer in the audience, please? Gamers in chat.
All right, so what's your best feature?
How much time we got?
One feature.
One feature.
10 seconds.
Okay. I'm a pretty good singer, if I do say so myself. Listen to Midnight Hell on Spotify. I'm a drummer as well. I do all the drums for the music that we make. And I guess like my best physical feature, I can't take my shirt off, can I?
You know what?
Dang.
Excellent. So, fact no one knows about you, but we will after this panel.
A fact no one knows about me. Okay, let's see. There is... Dang, we can't even circle back to this question. A fact no one knows about me? And this is a PG panel?
I know, limiting.
I've been known to get into fights. I get into a fair amount of fights, and it's not because, well, it is a little bit of me, but I got into a fight on our first gig, the very first gig that we played. We went back out, we were out backstage, putting all of our gear into our van, because we had a van with wheels, with wheels in 2124. We had a van with wheels and throwing all our gear back there. And some punks came by, and not only, it was the first gig, we made money, we were gonna go and buy some new stuff and go out to eat and have a great time, little petty cash for us to screw around with. They stole it. Some freaks got behind us, stole it, beat my guitarist up, and then stole his dad's guitar. So I had to go and kick their ass in a park.
Wow, that was heartbreaking and sad, but also I feel more that was self-defense.
I mean, I
I'm
wasn't
just saying.
defending myself. I was defending those that I love and care about.
Right. See, when you said you start fights, I thought, you know...
I never said I started fights. I said I get in a lot of fights.
All right.
I
You're
get
right,
in a
you're
lot of
right.
fights.
My bad. All right. So, I think we are about ready.
Oh, hell yeah, we are.
Are you ready?
I'm born ready.
Okay. All right. Let's drop that curtain.
Question, are you single, Alpha?
Are you single, Alpha?
I'm always single, baby.
That's sad. Do you at least have like a heat pad or something for your bed, like something cuddly?
Look, the snail is surprisingly warm.
Weird. Slimy and warm.
Yeah, snuggly and warm, a little
Disturbing.
slimy. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, is that me? No, never mind, it was him. It was him.
All right, so I think we're gonna pull Alpha down off the screen for now.
Okay, bye guys. I'm just gonna go over here for a bit. I'm still here. We're gonna plug the HDMI anytime now.
Wow.
I'm gone.
VTubers.
Yeah, VTubers, right?
Yeah. And we're gonna bring out some of our special panelist guests. So first up, you probably know Kieran Strange as your MC here at Colorado Anime Fest. But he's also a world touring punk rocker, voice actor in many of the anime games you love, and rookie VTuber. Please round of applause for Kieran Strange. Why? We're married. What?
That's why I want to. That's why I want to let other people have the joy of sitting next to me.
Ah, wow. Okay. All right, and next up is Nathaniel Platier, is a VTuber that specializes in making mental health more accessible and providing a calm and welcoming space. Nathaniel is a tech operator for multiple voice actors and actresses on Twitch and Discord and sometimes virtual reality, trying to bridge the gap between communities. Please round of applause for Nate, yay! And last and absolutely not least at all,
There's more?
there's more. I know. The man behind the curtain. huge, massive, the famous voice actor, Jonah Scott, as he was
You guys-
greeted in the green room at a very famous studio by another actor.
What?
Yeah, don't you remember that?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
man. What's up, guys?
Name a video game you've been in.
What?
Name a video game you've been in.
Name a video game I play?
Yeah.
Help
No,
me.
you've been in.
Oh, I've been in?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah!
That's just one of many.
You lucky bitch. All right, so I have some questions for you all.
Okay.
We had some really good questions earlier from the audience about getting into the industry and how you VTube and all that kind of stuff, and each of you is a different type of VTuber primarily. So why don't we go down from here and you each say a little bit about the kind of VTuber you primarily are, and then we can answer some more questions. Sound good?
Hello everyone, my name is Nathaniel Platier, or Nate the Moth. I primarily focus on 3D VTubing, but I like to there we go. I typically use a lot of things like 3D VTubing mostly, but I do experiment with 2D, and every once in a while PNG tuber if my computer hates me for that day. Or if, just depending on my mood sometimes, but mostly 3D VTubing is my speciality.
I would imagine it to be like an indie corpo adjacent VTuber. I'm not like signed to anyone because like, screw the man, rock and roll. But I do work with a lot of corporate VTubers as like a voice actor, as another like a cameo for VTuber stuff. I'll be in their their debut things, and I'll work with them on like projects that they're working on and things like that. And then I do my own streams. My own personal streams have the branding across the board. We've got logos and backgrounds, and obviously my VTuber rig is pretty complicated and extensive. And but we use that more. I'm pivoting it more to like an IP, right? So that we can you can engage with Alpha, and then you can engage with Alpha and the people that he surrounds himself with. So not just the VTuber friends, but like the characters that we've written into the graphic novel and the world that we have created as well. So there's a lot going on. Not only am I just like a traditional indie VTuber, but I have some other stuff that like if you sub to the Patreon, you get a bunch of you get sheet music for the music of the songs we produce. Like there's a lot of really cool things that kind of immerse you into the world. So that's what I do.
I'm really new to VTubing. I used to stream, and now I'm enjoying the idea of creating. I've always been someone who creates my own IPs and my own characters. And so I'm actually starting off quite simple. I've started off with a PNG tuber, which we're going to talk about a little bit more in a bit. And that to me is like a great jumping off point for me because I need to find a way to we'll talk more about like the issues of streaming, but like my self-discipline is pretty bad. I've had a lot of like hiccups in my life in the last few years. So for me, it's I'm PNG tubing right now and just enjoying like the thrill of streaming. But I am looking to like a 3D or a 2D in the future, which I'm really excited about. But PNG tubing is so fun, so simple.
It's nice to be able to play games in the dark.
Yeah, actually, honestly, that's the one nice thing is that I don't have to worry about the reactions of the gear picking up on me. It's just when I speak, it speaks. It's great. I love it.
So what made you want to VTube? Did you stream before?
I streamed a little bit before doing that, mostly on Facecam and stuff like that. But my main focus was firstly getting into virtual reality. And then finding out that I could use virtual reality as a way to kind of be a 3D VTuber made me want to experiment with different options, find different paths forward with that. My ADHD is terrible. What was the question again?
Why'd you get into VTubing?
Yeah, did you stream before? What did you?
Oh yeah, I did stream before, but it was mostly my main focus, and it still kind of is for the most part, is empowering other streamers and content creators. That's why I've really enjoyed helping other voice actors and actresses that are wanting to get on Twitch to reach their audiences that they normally wouldn't have been able to during the pandemic, for example, where all the conventions closed. That it was my privilege and pleasure to be able to reconnect them, open up somewhat panels in a way, before starting to get into VTubing myself. They helped inspire me to get back into it.
Yeah. Nate's a huge deal in the community, so he's very smart, knows exactly what he's doing, and he's very talented with the tech and everything. It's really cool. I've been a streamer for 10 years. I've been streaming since I was in college. I did mostly face cam stuff.
I actually knew you as the voice actor that streamed. That's how I knew you. Like that was what I knew of you. I was like, oh yeah, he's the guy who streams all the time.
Yeah. And that's something that I really enjoy doing, especially when I was doing a lot of like league play and things like that. I would stream not on my personal channel, but I would stream on through the university's channel, through my friends' channels, and that's what got me into streaming in college. And from there, I would just stream whatever. When I moved to LA, I streamed Overwatch almost constantly, almost every day. I played a lot. It's sad. I played a lot of Overwatch, and I would stream every day because I wasn't booking anything as an actor. When I first moved out to LA, there was like a span of 2.5 years, something like that, almost 3 years, where I just didn't book anything. And I would audition every day. I would audition for as many things as I possibly could, but a lot of the time it's like the right person has to hear you, and then they have to take a chance on you, and then from there it'll be like, oh, right, okay, yeah, this guy was good the entire time, sure. But yeah, and then I moved from that into getting like booked a little bit more, and then I booked Legoshi, and then the furry community came over, and we had a great time. They paid my rent, it was great. I was able to survive, and on a serious note, they made it so that I could actually like live in LA for a year, because after I booked Legoshi, there was another 6 to 8 months where I didn't book anything because that has to settle. People have to watch it, people have to consume that kind of thing, and then understand what I do. So they helped. They made it. I had run out of money at that point to survive, and they made it so that I was able to, live for the remainder of that until I got another gig. But then, VTubing started to take off, and I wanted to do it since I saw like Miku and like Korone and a bunch of people like streaming, and I was like, oh, that looks really cool. Wait, I can do that? That's awesome. How do I do that? How do I get involved in that? And me and Alejandro got together for lunch one day, and we just sat down and we're like, do we really want to do this? Are we gonna be serious about being VTubers? And he's like, yeah, man, I think that's the play. So me and him started VTubing around the same time, and we just started doing streams, but with the VTuber. And it's like, the content didn't change at all. I still do weird, absurd stuff. I still, we like last week we do a thing called This Is Why I'm Broke, where we go through a website called This Is Why I'm Broke, and it has a bunch of really absurd things that you would buy if you had like $10 million. But like, it's like what was it? There was one where it's just like these prefab buildings that you could get shipped to your house, and these like really weird, oh, this lights up the toilet on the inside, isn't that cool? Like, really stupid things. This is an inflatable frog suit, I don't know. Weird stuff. And there's always content there, and I just love interacting with my community and my audience, and like, it's always been fun from the face cam standpoint, but now we have this cool layer of, this is the real kicker here, this character that I own. So I come to these conventions, right, and I sell autographs, and we have prints of characters that we don't own. We voice the character, and we are a touchstone in the Western world for this character, or touchstone period, because we voice this character in English. But we don't own that character. I own Alpha, and I own Alphonse McKenzie and Rockstar and the entire IP, and we're getting a trademark on it and everything. So like, it's legit, and that's my character that I can do anything I want with and not get in trouble. Because I can't there's a lot of stuff I can't do with the characters that I voice that would get me into trouble, especially with things in Demon Slayer. They don't want you touching that with a 10-foot pole unless you ask them and run it up the grapevine, and it takes forever to get permission for that stuff. So a lot of voice actors just ask for forgiveness instead. But yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I am a VTuber is to have something that I own and can market and use effectively.
Nice.
You have become the anime now.
I am becoming anime.
We are the anime now. I first got into streaming when I got into voice acting. I was pulled in by a friend of mine, Joel McDonald, to do an accent test for Lore in Borderlands. And they came back and were like, we just booked that person because they can do it and we like it. And I fell into anime acting and voice acting that way. And when I was announced, I was like, I should play this game. I've always had friends that are into Borderlands. I love the lore. I've really enjoyed it. So I started streaming back in 2019. I was streaming Borderlands 2, and I loved it, and it was hilarious because I'm bad at it. And then the pandemic happened, And all of my colleagues got online and were streaming because we needed something creative. We needed a creative outlet, we needed money, we needed to work, we needed everything. And my anxiety kicked in and I was like, I'm not as good as these people, I don't have the viewership, I'm not growing as quick, I'm sure a lot of you totally understand this feeling. And so I fell out of streaming, and so I've been really on and off non-consistent for a while. I tried to get back into VTubing last year. I've been watching it, like Jonah said, I've been watching it since like it first kind of was a thing. A lot of my friends were creating VTuber models, and I've always been a fan of creating original characters and marketing those, like I said, and doing my own thing. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this would actually be a really cool like vehicle to move my music forward, because I used to do music. It's kind of fallen behind with working on voice acting and other stuff. So I was like, what if I were to create a VTuber that was a singer, which is ironically like where you went to. So we exist in the same world, our VTubers. I'm his drum and guitar tech. And sometimes when I'm lucky, CL gets to open for them. It's great. But it was like I wanted a vehicle for my music. I wanted a creative way. I've always wanted to do like a really deep concept album. And so to me, like VTubing was not only a really fun way to connect with people and to stream. I've always enjoyed streaming and hanging out online. But it was also like a way I could, like Jonas, like have a creative project that I could own, and I could finally kind of create that amazing like concept album in a crazy world that I've always wanted to create. But now I'm doing multiple albums with a concept artist, I guess. But I love it. I'm really excited to hit it back up again this year. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
So, we saw Alpha. Do all VTubers look like Alpha?
So,
We wish we all had models like Alpha.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be behind the curtain.
Go back behind the
yeah.
curtain.
Is there another way to VTube?
Well, you mentioned 3D.
Yes.
So what Alpha is he's a 2D model, right?
Yes.
Which is basically you've taken 2D art and then it gets rigged, which is where when you turn your head, there's a magic trick that goes on with the shading and the angles that makes it look like the VTuber turns its head. And so that's what a 2D
I've seen it done badly, and it looks like the character's like wearing a mask that kind of like floats aside.
It's very odd. It's, yeah.
But
His is rigged beautifully.
When it's done well, it looks like
Yeah, his is rigged really beautifully. So that's 2D VTubing, and that's kind of what you'll see with like HoloLive and Shoujo, and a lot of the bigger VTubers are investing in these beautiful models that look like real life anime characters coming to life. The only issue with those is they are very expensive.
Yes.
And as riggers and artists have realized how in demand these are, they have gotten more expensive. To a point where it's actually a little ridiculous, in my opinion, right now, for what it is.
Well, I mean,
and
you could buy like a used car.
Yeah, you can buy a used car for what you buy a VTuber model for. If you don't buy an adoptable, because adoptables exist, which is where it's already created and you could go out and buy it, which is a little cheaper. But if you have your own design and you want your own kind of creation, you have to invest in some kind of model.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a 2D VTuber, you've got a 3D VTuber.
I just want to check in, Jonah. How are we back there?
ready when you are.
You ready when? Okay, cool. So Nate, tell us about 3D, and then we'll.
Sure. So obviously there is the cryopress 2D VTubers that you see that look like they've been Han Solo'd to the screen. But there's also 3D VTubers that you can actually physically manipulate around a 3D space. Have an actual environment for them to be placed in, to have different props, different camera angles. You can have them also, like, instead of A-posing all the time like most 2D VTubers are.
It's very much like this, isn't it?
Yeah, they look like they just got out of bed and they have a stiff neck or something like that. But with 3D VTubing, whether it be through virtual reality or through programs like VC Face or what I currently use to have more variety in poses, Waterdo, it lets you to sit down, to have different poses, to actually animate yourself a little bit more and breathe a little bit more life into what you're doing.
That's wild.
So it's more like a Muppet
And,
than a puppet.
Yeah, exactly. And it eventually allows you, I'd say that the more dimensions you add into your VTubing experience, the higher the skill floor, but the higher the skill ceiling as well.
Crazy. So why don't we show a couple of these?
Yeah, did you send a 3D?
Yeah. Hold on.
I did.
3D one?
Jonah's ready for
I have
us.
them right about. We're switching visuals.
Switching.
Hold on. Oh,
Oh, that's us again.
I plugged the wrong thing and hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Because I love
Look
your
who
3D
that
models.
is, huh?
So pretty. And it is incredible to watch you on the screen because your whole
We
body
can't.
moves.
Yeah,
We can't
I
see.
can't see it. I'm going to imagine, I can't really imagine
Who is
the
it?
presentation,
You're
but
gonna
I'll
tell us.
pretend like I can see it as well. And it's probably me playing Persona 3, is it not? Probably, I'm a weeaboo, as you guys can tell. But as you can see, instead of having your shoulders stiff up like this, I actually get to be sitting cross-legged, have a fake PlayStation Portable in front of me, and even I can put like the actual screen.
Who is it?
Oh.
Can we get a photo of Nate?
Just so I don't
Yeah,
make a
that-
fool
there
of
it is.
myself.
There you go.
There we go. I just ditto everything I just said right now.
Something about persona, cross legs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all that really matters. Cross-legged Persona.
Yeah.
It's just a different way to do it. It gives it another level.
Yes.
What's the price entry point? You know, you mentioned there was a higher skill floor. Technology-wise, you have to understand maybe a little bit more about the tech to
Yes.
work in a 3D world. What's the price floor compared to a 2D model?
It highly depends because if you are obviously furries, because if you couldn't tell, I'm a furry. Obviously, furries are a little bit more detailed with what they need with their models. So usually people will kit bash different things, like different assets together. For most people that are not furries, it'll be a lot easier because you don't have tails and ears and all that type of things. It's usually just you swapping hair in and out between different things. So it's a little bit cheaper because of that. It can range to be about, depending on if it's kit bash, it could be about $500 usually, which is still cheaper than an actual physically drawn model from scratch.
You're looking at thousands and thousands of
Yeah,
dollars for it.
but if you're building it from scratch, it can equal about the same amount of prices as well. But the plus side with 3D models is being able to swap those assets back and forth and reduce the cost a lot.
Right, so if you don't have $500 and all you have is like a little piece of artwork your friend drew for you because they were like a real bro,
Yeah, there is a really cheap entry point. And
called,
Yes.
it is called PNG tubing, baby.
and I think
I friggin' love it. So
let's have
I'm an
it on
artist, but I'm not. I think I'm finally at the point now where I think I could try and draw my own 2D model. But I just wanted to start off bare bones. I did not want. I have borderline personality disorder, and one of the things that happens, I have a lot of sensory issues, and I will depersonalize. So for what that means is it kind of feels like my soul is leaving my body and I'm like sitting behind myself. Like some people will feel like their whole body leaves the world. I leave my body and the world and I'm just above there. And that will happen if I have too much going on at once. Like I'll get really overwhelmed, I'll get really crazy. It's even worse since COVID. I have such bad brain fog. And so I was like, I want to just start off with a PNG tuber. I don't want to invest a ton of money. I want to really see if I like this, if I like CL, if I like what he's doing, if his music's coming out, which is working. I'm really liking him actually. And so I drew myself a little PNG tuber. And it's as simple as drawing the boy and then giving him one closed mouth and then copy pasting it and giving him a closed mouth and an open mouth. So you've got closed mouth, open mouth. And it's so simple. I downloaded OBS onto my computer. I'm really bad with tech, so Kit actually and Nate help me run along.
Mostly Nate.
Mostly Nate, but Kit is my like in the house, like help me, my microphone won't work person. I wasn't even allowed to touch the soundboard on tour. I'm so bad at tech.
And Kit helps me with learning about Mac, because I'm used to being with
Oh really? Kit's your Mac
I'm a
person.
Mac
See, we're
person.
musicians, so we had to grow up on Mac. I did my transition into Mac when I was like 18. It sucked. But the PNG tuber is great because what I do is I run it through my Discord and what is it called?
Fugi.
Fugi. There's a program called Fugi, F-U-G-I, Fugi Tech, and it literally allows you to insert, like, this is what it looks like when you're talking, and this is what it looks like when you're not talking. And so you can make a very simple open mouth, closed mouth. And it's literally just, he's your little guy, and when he talks, he opens his mouth, and when he's not talking, he closes his mouth. So you don't have any of the freedom of the movement, but you've still got an avatar. You've still got a way to VTube. You've got a character. You can build lore around that. You can build a character and a personality and a fandom and a brand, like Jonah was saying. And then once you start building, if you really like what you're doing, then you can start looking into like a more, or
Yes.
you might just want a PNG tube forever.
Yeah.
And those are roughly, I've seen them go for about $50.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's dinner out now with
And
inflation.
my next step with PNG tubing before I hit 2D is I want to learn, I have a little, oh my god, what do you call them? A little Stream Deck. and I want to get different expressions. So I want him to have one where he's like, ah, and I want him to have one where he's laughing, and I want to be able to hit buttons to give those different reactions based on like my voice and what I'm doing. So that's going to be my next step.
Should I pull Jonah back on stage?
I think we could call Jonah
Yeah.
back on stage.
Come on,
You're right
Jonah.
on timeout now.
Do you want to talk a little bit about 2D or?
Well, we have 10 minutes left.
Yeah, 10
and
left? Oh,
we have
gosh.
2 questions from the audience. at
Sure.
least. In the Grey Wig, you asked a good question.
What got you into VTubing? That was my question.
Oh,
We asked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, good. I'm glad we. Thank you.
I think most of us, it was like we wanted our own IPs to control.
Yeah,
we
we
just wanted a creative outlet. Like
creative outlet.
when you're an actor, especially for me and Jonah, I don't know so much about me, but when you're an actor, it's so hard to be beholden to other people for work, and you see creative characters you want to play, and you don't get cast. And so we said, fuck it, and made our own.
The highest percentage I've seen anyone get in terms of auditions they do versus what roles they actually book was like 5%.
Yeah.
So 95%, like if you do 100 auditions, you're only booking 5 of those roles, maybe. And that's if you're like the top of the game. It's
Yeah.
usually 1 to 2%.
And you don't get to play a lot of those higher voiced himbo boy. You play a lot of deeper. So this is
I've
something
got people
out.
that are like 4 feet taller than I am.
Yeah, it's like this was a great way for Jonah to be like, this is like a character I've always wanted to play, and now I'm
Yeah.
going to create it. Fuck it.
And it's a culmination of a lot of the traits of the characters that
Right.
he plays as well.
When we were designing him, we were just like, okay, what are the characters that I have voiced up to this point? So we had, Courier in Akudama Drive, which is one reason why my VTuber has a metal arm. One of his arms is an augmetic arm. We have, he's
How
got
did you
long
not say
hair.
that's your coolest feature?
Oh, that's right.
You're a metal
It's
arm.
because it's become part of me at this point. I don't even notice it as my feature. I have a metal arm, and I have pink hard light claws. Why did I not show that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
He
all
does
right.
have
Come to
sexy
the
pink
stream.
claws. It's pretty hard.
Come to the stream. You'll see my claws.
Wow. So,
Yeah, pretty
we
much.
had another question in the black hat. Oh, he might have left. All right, that's fine. Oh, wait, no, you're there. Yay.
It was how hard was it to get into the industry, but I think that was already answered.
This is actually, I want to, can I bounce this into a different
Yeah.
question? Because one of the questions that I think was on the list was unexpected positives and negatives of getting in. Roadblocks you might hit when you're getting in. Because obviously, how do you get in? You set up a Twitch. You decide what
Just
kind of
do
VTuber
it.
you want. You literally just do it. Like, you decide one day, I'm going to do this, and you do it. There are roadblocks that you may hit. I've talked a bit about my mental health, my anxiety. I tend to compare myself to others, which is a huge thing I need to stop. That's been a huge roadblock for me. But I also didn't anticipate how much fun I would have just chatting to people in chat. Like, I just want to do just chatting streams sometimes
Yeah,
because
it's very fun.
I have so much fun talking to people. It makes the anxiety worth it. It's just I need to know that I have an issue with my self-discipline and I need to kick my butt.
So, what other roadblocks? Each of you name one roadblock.
One, I guess, so I want to try and establish an IP, right? In order to do that, you need to be exposed to a lot of eyeballs, and you'd think that, oh, you're an anime voice actor voicing an anime boy, of course you're gonna get a lot of eyeballs. The hard part is nobody knows I'm the VTuber, right? So I have to shoehorn myself into collaborations, and I have to make sure that people see and be like, oh wait, you're that, okay, and that connection has to be made. The branding and the everything has to come together in such a weird corporate way that I'm not really, my brain isn't there, obviously. But and it's like another thing is like if you aren't in certain games, there's no audience for that on Twitch, right? If I was in Apex Legends, there would be an audience on Twitch that would come watch the VTuber who plays Apex Legends or the
VTubers who are in like Genshin,
Oh yeah, if
you've got the
you're
fun.
an actor
You're
and you're
gonna do
in
much
a
better.
MiHoYo game, you're gonna have like a couple hundred people come and watch you a little bit, you know? And it's not like, that's not a necessity. There are actors that are streaming right now, like, what's his name? Brian Decker. Brian Decker has a successful stream, he's not a VTuber, but Brian Decker has a successful stream. He voices Connor in Detroit Become Human. So there's a lot of like voice actors out there that have done it before, but the hard part is like, I'm not saying, and I'm not on stream constantly talking about my voice acting, right? I'm doing stupid little kitschy stuff and fun, you know.
You have to hope that
interactions.
someone follows the breadcrumbs.
Exactly. You just have to hope that, and fingers crossed.
You have to
listen
find
me.
your niche, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think one thing for me that I think a lot of people that are just starting out can empathize with is the struggle of streaming to no one at the start and having to pretend to talk, to carry on a conversation with yourself find excuses to do that, whether that be find a game that is very dialogue heavy, to have people, when they pop in, the first thing that people come in is not usually the visuals, it's usually the audio. It's usually they're lurking, they're having you on in the background. If you're not talking, if it's just background music, they're probably going to click off.
I'm going to be honest, if I get onto a stream and the streamer's just playing the game and not talking, I will be out of there in 10 seconds. I have no interest.
Yeah,
I'm not going to watch you play, I want to talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go watch a movie.
Go watch a long play on YouTube and go to sleep too.
Yeah.
I love long plays, they're great.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm continuously struggling and trying to learn how to do, and that means describing what I'm doing as I'm playing it. With like Overwatch, I feel bad for me, I still play it.
So good, dude. You're so good at Overwatch.
And one of the more creative things that I've loved out of it is finding that rediscovering the joy out of it. I think a lot of us find that one hit of excitement when we hit the algorithm that one time. They were always chasing after that hit. I made a viral meme.
And now you're just chasing the high.
Yeah, I made the free him meme on I'm credited on Know Your Meme, the stupid Pikachu and the ball thing. And I've been chasing that high ever since.
That free him thing was entirely, it was great.
Sorry, on Tumblr.
Yeah. Amazing.
So I have a couple more questions, but does the audience have any more questions? Yes, in the front.
How much space do you need for a 3D setup? Like how much room do you need to dedicate?
Like physical room?
Yes.
For like a VR 3D setup?
For virtual reality specifically?
Yeah, like you have to set up a whole room for like tunnels and wall protection for when you fall into it or whatever.
It would heavily depend on if you are using full body trackers. If you can, I would highly recommend having a dedicated space for that, because you can use AirLink or wireless to connect to your PC still. And since it is virtual reality, you can pull up your desktop in virtual reality and be able to interact with it from another room if you need to. Which, I know, it's so sci-fi, we're in the future now. But that aside, I'd say that if you can dedicate at least enough room for you to take 1.5 steps forward, backwards, and side to side, I think that's probably a good amount. And having a different textured mat under where you are, so that if you're nearing the edge of where your play space is,
Yeah.
you know where it is.
That's
So-
smart.
So
I did that at the rave. I picked a spot on the floor. I was like, I'm gonna stay in that squiggle.
we got a really good idea of Jonah, what your stream's like and what Alpha is all about, but I'd really like to hear from Nate and Kieran about their character and their style of stream, just so that the audience can know too, because if you're out there thinking about, I want to do something, you don't just have to be gorgeous himbo, alpha, anarchy. I mean, you should, but there's other options.
You want to go first?
Sure. Like I said, I really wanted Ciel, his name's Ciel. I really wanted him to kind of be a platform and a vehicle for my music. So Ciel lives in Alpha's world near Tokyo in the year 2124 now. We had New Year's celebration recently. He lives in Nichome, so in the gay district, with his alien ET kind of, they're kind of like an ethereal cat creature, but they are voiced by Kit, because I like to have her on my streams helping out. Another great thing you can do if you want to have a friend on stream, if you're nervous, if you're easily overwhelmed, create a side character and team up with a friend. Kit doesn't need to be on all my streams. She's just there as a little side character, like a Claude that speaks.
I'm essential.
Yeah, like a Claude who speaks. And also, Kit really wants to stream but doesn't like to talk, so we might do some co-op games where she doesn't have to talk, but she's still a character. I'm still playing with someone in my world. So that's been really fun to kind of play with from a perspective of like, my mental illness and wanting to be here and wanting to be present, but like needing a team behind me to kind of help me get into that space. So creating Kit's character has been really fun. Tech-Tite is her character's name. I'm so excited. Tech-Tite.
I didn't get to choose.
No, she's in my world now. I cast her. I am the boss now. But I try to keep my streams pretty. I invented the term cozy punk because I'm a little too punk for cozy and I'm a little too cozy for loud. So there's an energy in there, but it's usually a good positive energy. I don't get very screamy often. We do a lot of focus on queer stuff, on mental health stuff. We like to be a really good safe space. We play a lot of games that aren't super intense. I think we're going to start some Subnautica, which should be fun. Some other cozy games, some dating sims. But yeah, come hang out. It should be fun. Ciel would love to come see you guys. And he does speak with the British accent.
A
Good.
vtuber.
A VTuber. He's a VTuber.
VTuber. All right,
I need to put that on my
we have like 45 seconds, so hit fast, and then I have
I'll be
one
super
question.
fast. I am also a cozy streamer. I have, if I'd say that I'm the Dan Avdan of furry VTubers, where I don't get mad when playing games. That's why I play Overwatch for as long as I have. It takes a certain type of mindset to be able to play that for as long as I have. But I am mostly focused on mental health awareness, whether it be streaming it or otherwise. Even in virtual reality, I do meditation Mondays. I go and help out with virtual conventions, with virtual workout sessions as well. So
Your virtual workouts are so cool.
thank you. Yeah.
And doesn't he have the perfect voice for meditation?
Yeah.
I've done some of his meditations. Check them out on Monday because we'll tell you where we're at. 'Cause
Yeah.
you got to
So,
check them out.
final
on Monday.
question is, if you have one thing to say, one very short thing to say to your little VTuber, what would it be?
To my VTuber.
Yeah.
Oh my God, little man, you can do this. You are good enough. You really are. Like, just let your past go and do it.
Your name's Alphonse.
Points and laughs. Furry.
Awesome.
So nice to myself.
All right, so where can the audience find you online and today? Although, Jonah, I think you're going home after this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're out.
He's going to the
All right.
airport.
All right, Jonah, no.
I'm
But
gonna eat, but then I'm gonna go to the airport.
Jonah, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Alpha Aniki, ALPHANANIKI. Aniki is like, Japanese for big bro. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Instagram, I'm Jonas Scott VA. And on Twitter, I'm Mr. Transistor. But you can go to my, I have link trees everywhere. You'll be able to find it pretty easily if you find one.
You can be my trans sister any day.
All right, Nate, where can we find you?
You can find me on twitter.com as Nate the Moth, or on Twitch, the same place. You can also find me usually hopping around and helping out with other voice actors and actresses as well.
You get
Are
around.
you going to be at my booth with me after this as well? You going to come hang
Or
out for
are
a
you
bit?
going to go sign at yours?
Or are you signing?
I've already signed some.
You've already signed. Okay, so me and Nate will probably go hang out at my booth in the vendors hall after this for a couple hours. So if you do want to come meet us, unfortunately we won't have Jonah with us, but come say hi to us. We're at booth A1. I believe we're right as you walk in, right next to the PA system, right next to the girl with the cool hats, which I had to buy. And you can find me online as well. Everything is at Kieran Strange. My Twitch is StrangeBox. It's a great double entendre. And CL's Twitter is at CLisCL, and I've realized how annoying that is to say, and I may need to change it. It is CLisCiel, like CL.
Wow, that's real bad.
It's awful. I just realized how fucking bad it is, and I need to
That is
change
a
it.
lesson in bad branding.
It's not bad.
Okay, my old band used to be called something with an exclamation point at the end, and that is the worst branding
don't do that.
decision.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, guys. You're awesome. Love the decade.
Morning, Maya.